in paper, the actual New York Times. He reads it and begins the country's agenda by tweeting out his grievances. That's what he does.
Are you sure he reads it, or someone colors in, puts a little yellow stripe across a couple of lines?
I heard this from an insider that they could. I'm just saying this is based on the timing of when the people at the Times, for example, know when his paper gets to him physically, and his meeting, his tweeting begins like then.
When he gets a synopsis, when some other aide reads the newspaper and actually reads the entire article, pulls out one or two little talking points and hands it to him, then he responds by doing things like, come on, this is the President of the United States is selling T-shirts to make fun of Chris Cuomo, but using a derogatory phrase, and this is what a lot of people in this country don't understand. Right now, when we look at what we perceive as our racist comments coming from the president, we think that they're only going to be directed at brown people. But let's remember, Chris, go back in time. Remember, this country for a period of time, we fought riots in the streets because we didn't like Polish people. We fought riots in the streets because we didn't like Italians. We fought riots in the streets because we didn't like, Croatians. We don't like anybody that we claim is different from us. And so now we've got the President of the United States selling T-shirts really disparaging Italian Americans by using a term Fredo. Come on.
Well, by the way, you know your history because in Philly back in the last century, they built our cathedral, the Cathedral of Saints Paul and Peter and Paul, no street-level windows because they didn't want the Protestants throwing the rocks through the windows. I mean, that was how bad it was back then.
How about some more history? Chris, look, I mean, what, a week ago, the president was disparaging my hometown, which is Baltimore, Maryland. But let's also remember that there was at one point in time, Baltimore was the capital of the United States. And Baltimore also was one of probably the most instrumental states in this, or cities in this country, that helped build our infrastructure the way it did when we had Bethlehem Steel, we had McCormick, we had all these other companies that were there that left the city and left the joblessness rate as high as it is. So he was disparaging a city that's probably one of the greatest cities in this country's ever had.
Baltimore also had most of the political conventions for years. Anyway, thank you, Montel Williams.
Yes, sir.
It's great to hear your voice.
Thank you,
read your stuff. Up next, how Speaker Pelosi is trying to save the peace in Northern Ireland as Brexit threatens it.